Hello there everyone, it's Soul Super 17 here. Let me get through this like usual. I did not own anything from Naruto, and I did not own the Grim Reaper's philosophy or anything else, so I didn't, above Naruto, I did not own the characters, names, nothing. Alright, and I do not even own this picture. This is not a paid video, and this is just for fun. Alright? Okay. So, where we left off? It's basically where the fights are about to happen in the Chunin exams. I want to say there's going to be some different fights. I know it's like what I mean by different fight is, I mean by it's going to change the order. So it's the first person to fight is Choji, then Shikamaru, and what happens? But something happens in the fight with Tenten when she's facing Tamari. Instead of Tenten's back and Tamari's fan, Naruto uses. Well, Naruto, because of his teleportation, that's the crows outside my house. They're flying, so sorry. I get like Naruto can use like shadows to teleport. He kind of figured maybe he could use just a skeleton's hand to make sure she doesn't hit the Tamari's fan on her back, and that's what he did. So he did just in time. She looks like she hit the fan with her back, and then she's pushed off. So Tamari wins, and then right before everyone, like magical ninjas, come over to her, Naruto just basically picks her up from the arm, and he's just healing her. And after a few minutes, she's able to stand. So, not a few minutes, a few seconds. So, she's able to stand and walk. So, she says, "Thank you, Naruto." He says, "No problem." Alright. Hold up. Alright. Okay, so, basically, Neji saw what he did. He doesn't understand how. Like, he thinks that was part of his Keka Genkai, and it's just even Kyuubi's laughing at him. So like, it's just the Kyuubi's just laughing, and then Naruto's saying, "What?" He goes, and the Kyuubi just says to him, "Oh, nothing. It's just I think your girlfriend's gonna be a little bit mad at you, Naruto." And then he looks, and when he gets back up, Ino's like a little bit. She's only a little bit mad. She's only a little bit mad, and she just basically asked him, "Were you just trying to help her out without anyone noticing and then heal her?" And Naruto just goes, "Yeah. Oh, please don't tell me you're getting jealous, Ino." And just basically a little bit red. He was like, Naruto just basically just walks over to her and just hugs her and says, "I don't like no one else but you. Okay? So please just calm down." Does get a little bit more red and says, "Alright, Naruto." Kun. So yeah. So after Tenten, it's basically it's basically the main attraction. The main fight. And also the reason why I made Sasuke stay here. This is why I made Sasuke's freaking fight will be after this. It's Naruto versus Keep. So Kiba just looks at Naruto and just thinking to himself, it's gonna be way too easy. So he just basically just jumps down, and then Naruto just says, well, he's still holding on to Ino, hugging her, so he lets go and says, before he lets go, puts his hand on her, I think it's like, yeah, his like, two fingers on her chin to lift her head up, says, wish me luck. And then, so then, she says, you don't need luck, you're gonna win. He just starts laughing. Because, yeah, this would be pretty much a piece of cake. And Hinata hears this. She's thinking to herself, okay, no. Oh yeah, somebody said to me, I'm making him a top A rank. So I'm making him a top A rank. Alright. So yeah, that's the change in this What If Now, like, series. What I said in the last video about the top, he was at the low A rank. Nah, someone told me one of the comments said I should have made him a top A rank. So yeah, that's what's happening. So yeah, Naruto's a top A rank in the bingo book. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. So when Naruto basically gets down, he tells basically Kiba this. He goes, Kiba, sorry man, I'm gonna win this with ease. Kiba just looks at him and goes like, oh, I know, but I'm not gonna make it easy for you. We're going all out right at the start. So, right before the guy says begin, Hinata just says, kick Naruto's butt, Kiba. And then, when he says, the referee says begin, Akamaru gets that pill what he did to when he turns red, and then they do beast mimicry. So yeah. Oh, by the way, Zabuza and Haku are there, and Thorough Kage's laughing. He's just laughing because he knows Naruto. He trained Naruto, so he might as well tell, like, Naruto to end this with style. So, he said, but before the third Hokage says anything, he asks Zabuza, so, what do you think? If Naruto's gonna win or lose? And Zabuza just says, he can win. And now up to Kakashi. Kakashi's just saying, well, wish Kiba luck, because he's gonna need it. Sakura, Sasuke, and Ino just say, yeah, all exactly at the same time. And Hinata is just wondering, why do you think he was gonna lose? Like, so she basically asks, well, like, what's wrong with you guys? Don't you know Naruto's weak? And Ino looks at her pissed off, saying, this is why we're not friends, Ino. I mean, not Ino. This is why we're not friends, Hinata. You keep on thinking he's weak. And yet, he's actually really strong. He's stronger than anyone here. And he has something even stronger than us and him on his side. So doesn't that make him the strongest person in the Leaf Village? Kakashi Sensei, right? Kakashi Sensei for the Sakura's leader? And then he goes, yes. So, yeah. So basically, the QB's laughing. They're going like, okay, so how are we gonna beat this kid? Please tell me we're just gonna freaking hit him on the head with a freaking staff. And then Naruto's on like, what? I thought you would want me to try to kick his butt to kill. I was like, nah, just hit him on the head with a staff. It's way more funny. Okay. So Naruto just uses the scythe that comes out of the ground, and then he changes it to only be a staff. He grabs it and just starts swirling around in his fingers, and then he stops. He goes, "Alright, I'm ready." He gets into a fighting stance and says, Let's begin, dog breath." He says with a little smirk. And then Kiba just says, "Oh, okay, dead man." Then they just start laughing and says, uh, they both say to each other, "You are so dead." And then Kiba does feign over feign. Naruto's just running at Akamaru and Kiba. He just starts running, and everyone, Hinata is thinking to himself, that's suicidal. So right when they're about to hit him, Naruto just slides. He then hits Akamaru out of the way. He gets back up by pushing his hand off the ground. So he gets back up to his feet, slides. Then when he stops sliding, he runs over to Kiba. Kiba already turned around, and then he tried to hit. When he turned, he was about to go back towards Naruto, but Naruto was already where he was at the turn. So then he hits Kiba right over to Akamaru, and then Kiba's just saying to himself, "Okay, he is a lot faster than last time." And then Naruto says, basically, I'm still holding back against you, Kiba. We spar a couple of times, yeah, but I mean, you keep on getting stronger, but I keep on have to hold back. It's because I keep getting stronger. Remember that. I don't like to be in last place or second best, you could say. It's a inferiority complex, maybe. I don't know. All I know is there's some reason I just don't like to be last. So I keep on getting stronger. Hyuga says, "I know what you mean by that. Everyone has that problem." Then they just start laughing. Hinata doesn't understand why they're laughing. And then Naruto says, "So, want me to use a jutsu or just use my Kekkei Genkai?" So, basically, he would looks like a Maru and says, "We gotta do it." So yeah, so they do the Fang over Fang, but then they come together and make a bigger Fang over Fang. And Naruto is just like, "Oh crap, I could die from this." Wait, he's just really just standing there thinking while it's coming closer to him. Could I really die? I've already died once, so So he just puts out of his hand and he just stops the Fang over Fang with his bare hand. Well, he's also getting pushed back and his hand's getting a little bit bloodied. Which he was going like, what? And then he just throws him to the side. You can say like he just pushes them over to the side and then they hit the wall. And then he just says, he just taps the ground and just says, "Skeleton horde." And all the skeletons, he summons about 100. And Kiba looks at him and he goes, Akamaru, what do you think? Akamaru just barks and whimpers, and and basically Kiba just says, "Hey, would it be wrong? Would you mad at me if I?" Nope. It's understandable, man. I am in the top A rank in the bingo book. Then his jaw drop and it's like, uh, uh, you gotta be kidding me! He was really Naruto. You're a top A rank in the bingo book. How? Then he just looks all around where the skeletons are, and then says also the other one plus the dragon's wrath. Wrath. Fuck it. Budget. Hold up. Alright, so back over to us inside. I just wanted to make sure, and also I just remember I had to do something real quick. So yeah, I do. Okay, so Naruto is just basically thinking of what he should do to end this. So the only thing he come up with is basically just chaining him down and then basically just knocking him out. So he has a little grin and he tells Kiba, saying, "Hey Kiba," and Kiba's like, "What?" It was like, "So, you have a crush on anyone?" He was, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "Is it Hinata?" And Kiba says, "No." He goes, "Wow, that's just well, I can understand why you don't have a crush on her." He was saying, he was about to say, "Wow, that's heartless," but then he just realized, he just says, "Wait," and he's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, she thinks she's strong. I mean, don't get me wrong, she is strong in her own way, but compared to me and some of the other people here, no. I mean, I could beat her probably with just a flick of my finger. I mean, really, it's kind of easy." As he was like clenching his fist, he was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah. I mean, I don't really like to show off, so don't be a little bit too much." And Neji's just, you can already tell Naruto is not lying. He's not lying what he can do. And he was like, but Kiba does say, "So how did you?" And he just says, "Oh, these are weights on my wrists and my legs. You think these were accessories?" And he was like, uh, Kiba doesn't know what to say. So, but he asks, "How much?" He goes, "Oh, depends on how much chocolate I put in." A couple of weeks ago, I had to put in almost half of my chakra into it, so they weigh a lot. But they get a little bit pretty easy to move, but I'm still a little bit slow. He was just like thinking to himself, "I'm screwed. I'm screwed. I'm screwed." And Kakashi ends up us thinking, if we fight him again, I'm running away. And the third Hokage is just laughing a little. He's like, "Naruto, this is going to be quite an amusing battle, but you should end this," he says to himself on his head. And Orochimaru's there. He is just fascinated by this. So he just tells the skeletons to go at Kiba. So Kiba and Akamaru do Fang over Fang, taking out half of them, no, almost like 70 of the skeletons out, before Naruto does do some hand sides and then to disappear and reappears right in front of Kiba with during the Fang over Fang, and says, "A lightning style, lightning chains," and he just starts covering Kiba with chains. And he's like, Kiba is like, what? And then boom, all you just see is Naruto just hit him in the face, and that was like the last hit. And he goes, "Sorry, Kiba, I wasn't gonna lose this fight, but yeah, we can get a lot more stronger together if we spar. So let's do that sometime." Akamaru is still conscious, but he turns back into a dog, and the skeletons start to disappear. They start to turn back into his dark chakra, and they go back into him. And he's declared a winner, Naruto. So he was like, "Cool, that was easy." Lee Lee heard about the weights, and he's like thinking, "I wonder how much training he does with them." And then Neji's just saying to himself, "I hope I get to fight him sometime." And Nada's thinking herself in her head, "He beat Kiba, the person who keeps on trying to get stronger, but he says they spar. Does that mean," as she's then takes a realization, and then she just falls to her knees, and Ino sees this, and he goes like, "So, you finally realized that my Naruto-kun is actually the strongest ninja in this room." And then she was about to say yes, but then Naruto appears and says, "No, I'm probably the second strongest to the Hokage. But if you're talking about Genin, there's one person that can maybe on par with me, even with my kick at Genkai." And Ino just looks over, says, "What do you mean, Naruto-kun?" Says, "Oh, why are you looking?" He goes, just some guy named Gara. But I have a feeling he's not gonna do anything." And she's like smiling and goes, "Oh, okay." And then she asks, "So, you didn't release that aura that you usually do in a fight?" And Naruto says, "Oh, I wasn't even taking the fight seriously. It wasn't even worth the time." As Hana was hearing this saying, "What? You were just playing with him?" I was like, "Oh, no, 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 no. I have like two different ways of being serious. One, I don't release my aura, but I still take you seriously because I know you and you're a person. And the one I actually get real serious is one where I actually become really cold. I don't care if you live or die. It depends on if you piss me off or not." And Hinata's saying, but doesn't just ask, saying, "Are you really in the bingo book?" He goes, "Yeah, top 8. One of the top 8 ranked ninjas. Again, they, I could have been an S rank, but I got a little bit more work to do on some things." So yeah. So, it's just hugging Naruto, just saying, "For tonight, you're gonna get a victory dinner." And he goes, "Cool. Are we gonna go out or you're cooking?" And it says, "I'm cooking." He goes like, "Nice." So he kisses her on the cheek, and she blushed a little, and he goes, "You're so cute when you're blushing." And that makes her even blush a little bit more. And Sasuke says, "Get a room, you two." And and Naruto says, "Shut up, Sasuke." And all three of them just start laughing. Sakura doesn't understand why they're like this, but it's kind of weird. And yeah, she's like thinking to herself, "Yeah, I should. I don't know." Mm. She's just a little bit sad, and knows Naruto, but they don't know what to do. Like they think Sakura's mad or upset that Sasuke won't date her, so it's a little bit weird. So Naruto is about to go lean against the wall and just sit down until he sees the next name. He sees Sasuke Uchiha versus the guy he does. And but let's just say Orochimaru's there. I mean, no, I said he was here, but let's just say Orochimaru is simply like he's knows how strong Naruto is, but when he was not wearing weights and he was going serious, so without the weights, he probably could have killed me. Definitely. He has a little grin on his face. He goes, Naruto Uzumaki, you are simply one fascinating person. Maybe I should stop at the Leaf Village a lot more, keep an eye on you. So around when Sasuke happens, the same thing happens, and then he's about to gets goes away and leaves with Kakashi, and Orochimaru follows. Then Sakura's like, he looks at both of them and goes, okay, Sakura, good luck, my student. And he kisses her on the lips, saying, if you don't win, it's alright. I still love you no matter what. And let's just say Sakura's just kind of like um, mad. She's just saying, like, because Naruto is saying that Ino's gonna win, she's thinking, but at the same time, she knows it's just because he's being her boyfriend. Smiles, just like Naruto-kun, and the same thing happens, but they're a little bit different. Naruto's using jutsus. I mean, not Naruto. Sakura's using jutsus. It's a lot more faster. She can do the mind transfer. She gets Bucket out, and they fight it out, and then boom, they both basically lose. I mean, they both tied, and so yeah. Naruto makes a shadow clone, goes to pick up Ino. He picks up Ino. The shadow clone picks up Sakura, and then he both puts them down together, and then he just says to them, "He did both a good job. I'm proud of both of you." And he just puts his hand on both of them, and Ino's blushing, not, and Sakura just thinking to herself, "I wish Sasuke was here." So yeah, that happens. So right around, so everything else happens the same way. And now to the Hinata fight, the same thing happens. But she gets a lot more hits in, and Neji's really impressed, but he still tries to kill her. But here's what Naruto does. He just basically uses the freaking Neji's shadow, gets right behind him, and just freaking just has a scythe to his neck and says, if you even move one little muscle more towards her, you're a dead man walking. And he says, you don't even... I go, yeah, I don't like her, but no one deserves to die. And Neji's little sweat goes down, because this is when Naruto were just using that aura. That aura that he has, like, everyone's... Like, it's a part of the Kekai Genkai. He doesn't... He can also see this... He sees this blue aura around Neji. He's afraid right now. So he says, so he puts the scythe. He lets go of the scythe, disappears, and says, "Now give that to where you were." But felt it, and she's like, she tells Sakura saying, "I love that every single time." And Sakura goes, "How can you love that? That's like death is gripping at your throat or something. I don't know what it is." He goes, and then Ino's just saying, "Well, he's my boyfriend, so I gotta love everything about him. Almost everything about him. I just don't like it that he sometimes always wants to eat ramen every day." And then Naruto says, "Hey, just because I like to eat ramen a lot does not mean nothing." Your cooking's better though, isn't it? And she technically blushes at it and thinks to herself, he didn't have to say that out loud. So he grabs Hinata's hand and picks her up bridal style because he's just encouraging the ninjas, but then he's healing her with the Nighttail's Fox's chakra. Ino knows Naruto does not like Hinata, but he still does not like to see her get hurt like that. That was she kind of saw what was happening to her, so even she knew Naruto was going to do this if anything happens. So before when medical ninjas came, Naruto healed her about 80% of the way. She's at so, but then before the medical ninjas take her off, they ask, "Why would you?" And he goes, "Just because I don't like you, doesn't mean I still won't want to see you get hurt. I just don't like it." So then he just walks away. Hanada's realizing that he doesn't like people getting hurt. He likes to have people safe and protecting them. And she's been bad mouthing because she thought he was thinking that she was weak. So let's just say she's thinking about it so much, and a tear goes down her face. So yeah, then about all the matches are done. Also, Shikamaru. Yeah, Shikamaru match went on. Yeah, so all the matches are done. And they say they have a 1 month break. And also to train. To get stronger for the next junior exams. So they so Naruto is gonna train in his own way. And people are gonna think I'm gonna make him meet Jiraiya. No. I think it was like the first couple days Naruto met the Privy Sage, and that's not gonna happen in this one. Because of one reason. Because it's kind of hurt, and he wants to spend time with her for the next few weeks. So they do. They hang out. They go on their dates. They hang like boyfriend and girlfriend. But for the past couple of days after the Pacific part of the training exam, there have been a whole bunch of guys keep on trying to fight Naruto. And they keep on saying, should be with me and not you, you freak. And then Naruto just looks at him like, okay, what's your point? Like, he doesn't even care. It's that cold dead expression on his face and his eyes. Like, he doesn't really care about them. He doesn't even know them. So, and then gets pissed off, and she keeps on telling every single guy that tries to fight Naruto to show that they're stronger than him, saying, "Leave my boyfriend alone. Can you see we're trying to enjoy our date, guys?" And then he says, "You shouldn't be with this freak, this demon." And then slaps. I felt like every time a guy who calls him a demon, she slaps them and says, "Don't you ever call him that." And then Naruto just grins. He's just grinning because he's having a girlfriend to actually defend him. And then the guys are saying, "Why you can't fight for your?" And then Naruto just eyes go red and turns into Nighttail Foxes with the Kiwi's eyes. I was like, I don't need no one to fight for me. I'm not grinning because basically she's fighting for me. I'm grinning because she actually loves me enough to do this for me. She loves me no matter what, even if I was born with this monster inside of me. Also, I wasn't really born with it. More like I wasn't even a couple of hours born, and it was sealed aside of me. So, yeah, run, man, run, kid, run. Because he doesn't know his name, so he's just calling him kid. So he just starts running, and he wants to go tell someone, but some Anbu tells him, "Don't even tell nobody." These are the Anbu that have been watching Naruto, and they have seen that Naruto and the QB actually are coexisting with one another. So Naruto doesn't really use the QB's chakra much. He doesn't at all. So yeah, so you know, oh yeah, yeah. So Ino's very happy that now they can continue on their day, and that was the final guy that she. Anytime someone's gonna, she saw Naruto. Any guy that tries to fight you, they just walk past them. I don't really care no more. It was really, and Ino says, Naruto-kun, you're stronger than everyone here. You can make a whole entire army and take out probably half of the village if you wanted to. If you ever became evil, and but then she asks, and he goes, definitely. I'll keep you around, and some other people too, if I want evil. And then she hugs him and says, thank you, Naruto. And then, yeah. So they leave. Um, yeah, after that, though, they go to the Hokage's office after they get Sakura, though. The 2 days after the fighting part of the tuning exams before the finals. So, yeah. So, Sakura and Ino got their weights. They used the chakra like Naruto can to make the weights even stronger, and they made it as strong as they possibly. No, they make it stronger to the point where it's a heavy for them to even walk and move. Not like super super heavy, just heavy enough. So they do this and they say, okay, let's go for some training then. And after me and Ino have our 2 weeks dates are done, and then Sakura goes, okay, so yeah. After that, then 2 weeks happen. Naruto has been training. He's actually is able to go through his own shadow and goes through and then comes out someone else's shadow and just basically he's been mastering that shadow walking technique. So he's been working on it so much, even figure out different ways how to do it. He has to be on the ground though, and there has to be enough sunlight, or there has to be enough of anywhere, like a shadow or something, anywhere. It depends. You can even have it during the dark. You can actually travel through it all around Konoha. So yeah, for the next 2 weeks though, he trains, and during this time, somebody's keeping an eye on him. Well, two people. Orochimaru. He's been making notes on Naruto, figuring out that his research was completely pointless. Basically. But he's still able. He's just figuring the immortality research. It's kind of pointless, but I've been working on it so long, I gotta finish it now. And it's Jiraiya, but he goes, why does that kid look so familiar? He's been trying to figure it out. So, yeah. So after 2 weeks pass, um, yeah, after the next 2 weeks pass, the Chunin exam's the final part. So, Naruto. Naruto basically wakes up early, gets everything ready for himself, and when he's about to, he's about to go into Ino's room and say goodbye, he sees Ino's not even in her room. And then he goes into the kitchen. It's, she's up and awake. It was like, oh, wow, this is the first time you're up before me. She was couldn't sleep last night. I almost couldn't sleep last night, so I made sure I wake up a little bit more earlier than you. It was that's good to know. So, are we gonna go together? And she was like, of course. Just let us eat breakfast first and then we can go. Saying, like, yeah. So, while they're eating breakfast, she's basically wants to ask Naruto a question. but she doesn't know how to ask him because it's a little bit embarrassing. But Naruto has been thinking of something for the last couple of days, for the last couple of weeks. He invented a jutsu that will only work as a last resort. It's a last resort technique. He calls it Soul Fusion Devour. Okay, let me explain what this is. This is why I've been hinting at the Soul Fusion is the key to the is my key thing to it, and how Naruto is gonna become OP. He's already OP with the his Kekai Genkai, yes, but I'm making him like very OP. Well, he's OP in the way of his Kekai Genkai. I'm gonna make him OP because of what I'm gonna do, and it may be reversible, but I didn't want him to meet Jiraiya and get the summoning technique. I wanted Naruto to become even stronger than what he was in canon, like 100 times stronger. So I thought, hey, Grim Reaper, I give him the Soul Fusion where he can get the appearance of people, and then some memories so where he can get even the memories of people. So why not give him like a freaking technique that gives them has where it works only on one thing. It can only work on one absolute being, the tailed beast. If you're getting what's happening, then yeah, I'm gonna make him become a freaking yeah. I'm making it happen because one, I could probably then kind of like end the series. The series when he's going to 2-year time skip. But oh no, but I'm saying this. Naruto's gonna have to get used to everything. He's not gonna be OP right away. He's gonna have to take like a 3 years time skip, that 3 to 2 year time skip. Oh boy, that's gonna need That's the reason why he'll be going on it then to even be able to master his newfound strength, power, speed, and everything. Need. He's gonna literally need help controlling it, but he's gonna even have like restrictions on himself, mental restrictions, because he won't be ready for. He will have to take it easy going on using the strength, so it'll take some time. So yeah, if none of you guys like it, I mean, if you guys don't like it, it's understandable. I mean, but imagine, imagine it, and yeah, see if you like it. So, but yeah, so before Ino says anything, Naruto says, "I gotta tell you something." She goes, okay, Naruto, what's wrong?" He goes, and this is like Ino and her dad are like listening behind the corner. He basically says, "I don't know why. I've been having this strange feeling. It's been bugging me before like all month. So I've been training extra hard during the night. After training during the night, I've been staying up to like so late. I came up with a new technique for my Reaper art, my Kekai Genkai." And she's like smiling and she's like excited. He goes like, tell me what it is." And he goes, "It's called, it's like Soul Fusion, but it's Soul Fusion Devour." And she's like still happy. He goes like, "So what can it do?" And he goes, "It can only work on one being." She was like a little bit confused. She was like, and then she realized, like, goes, "No, you don't mean, yeah, the QB." And Ino's mom and dad heard this. But then Ino goes, "So, like, what? Like, if something happens, something where I can't beat anyone or beat whatever's gonna happen, that's my last resort. My absolute last resort. I'll have to merge with the QB's chakra and become something else. I'll still have my humanity and all, but well, I mean, I died, so I kind of lost it maybe, and I don't know, but I gained it back because I'm with you. And he doesn't even. So Naruto just starts crying and says, "I don't want, I don't want that to happen. I don't want to have to do it. But it's just I felt like I needed to create something just to give me an upper hand." And gets out of her chair and just runs over to Naruto basically around the table and just starts hugging him. And she says it's okay. And then she asks, "Are you afraid I would leave you?" If he goes, "Yeah, if I become what the people hate me for." And she says, "No, never. You're my Naruto, and that's it. Never leaving you for no one else." And no, I'm not making cheat on him. If I'm gonna make that, I'm gonna make a revenge story, like a revenge thing. Like he was betrayed. So yeah. Also, the 200 special will be coming out soon. I just have to find a picture. Well, I just have to find what I want to do. Think of it. So it may come out like when I hit 215 or 30 subscribers. All right. Okay. So basically, Naruto wipes away his eyes and they kiss, and she says, "Thank you." She even says, "Even if the whole world hates you, even my parents hate you and kick you out, I'm never leaving you. Besides, I'll probably leave with you. This village. That's how much I love you." And Ino's parents hear this and they're happy, but they're so they look and they come around the corner, and then Naruto goes, "I figure I sent someone, but I just." But then then says, "Naruto, do you love me enough to marry me someday?" And then he just looks at her and says, "Yes, absolutely." She goes, "Good." Do you? And she goes, "Yep. Someday I want us to get married and have kids." And then his face goes red. He goes, "Kids?" She's basically saying, "Yep." "How many?" That's a secret. He goes like, "Oh," and he says in his head, "I'm in trouble." Yeah, I just want to put that little funny moment, but yeah. So right around, but he looks back at Ina's parents, and they say, "We heard everything." And he goes like, "Oh," and then they say, "Why did you make?" Well, her father asks, "So you made a technique that makes you merge with the QB's chakra?" And he says, "Yeah, last resort." "Do you know what will happen to you?" And he goes, "No, there's a 50-50 chance that I'll be wiped out from my mind, or it's the other way around. He would, but there's another chance that I look like the Nine Tails, just in a human form. Or I may look like myself with just ears and tails." And then Ino's thinking about it, and she's blushing, and then she says, that'd get you kind of cute." And then Naruto and her parents heard this, and they're all like, shot, and he was like, "Okay, are we gonna have to go to the third Hokage and tell him?" And they say yes. So they all leave. They after finishes breakfast and Naruto, they leave right away. They go to Hokage's mansion, and Hokage is about to leave, and but then he's actually just walking out, and he says, "Naruto, and basically says hello to her parents, and he goes, what you need to come over here and see me for? I'll see you at the Chunin." And then Ino's father said, "We need to explain something to you," and Orochimaru knows about the soul fusion devour. He's actually very interested to see what will happen. So the plan's still going on, but he's just wondering, will he be able to do it? Will be able to save this village? So right. So Naruto explains why he created the move and that it's basically kind of the last resort he has to basically surviving or living or even saving someone else's life. If he can't do it alone, he has to rely on it, and that there may be no going back, and maybe that way permanently forever. And he says, "I understand, Naruto." But so he looks at him very concerned, saying, "Never use that move unless it is your last resort." Yes, yes, third Hokage. So no, let's go to the tuning exams. So they get there. Everything else, Sakura and everyone else happens. Neji's fight. The reason why I did not make Naruto do the thing with for where he did for Hinata with the blood thing is because he didn't have to. He already threatened Neji's life, so it's like that already. He already made that vow. So when they get there, it's Naruto and his fight, and Naruto just jumps off from like the arena and everything else. Into the arena. So and Ino is screaming, "Kick his butt, Naruto! I know you can beat him." He's just smiling, and Neji's saying, "Why are you smiling?" He goes, "Well, because one, I got a beautiful girlfriend who's cheering me on, so I can't lose." And Neji tells him though, "Well, how do you make this an interesting fight for me? I'm very interested in seeing what you're made of, Naruto Uzumaki." Everyone, some people who have a bingo book on them look at the people just like, oh, wait, didn't I see? And then they go through the bingo book, and everyone who has had the bingo book and from the different villages look at this Genin, a prodigy, versus somebody who has a Kekai Genkai, as somewhat relatable to the Grim Reaper himself, the Grim Reaper, like the scythe, the death, touching with someone they die instantly type of Grim Reaper. Yeah, and they're like wondering, is this kid gonna? If Neji gonna win? Uh, um, I don't know. So people are making their bets. They're doing Neji's gonna win. People are saying Naruto's gonna win. So Neji asks Naruto, "Do you believe in destiny?" And Naruto just says, huh, "Yeah, but at the same time, I don't. Don't give me this destiny that I'm gonna lose because you're a prodigy. That means nothing to me. Trust me." So that fight begins. It goes similar to canon, but Naruto just starts to think he needs something to basically protect him from Neji's trigram 64 palms. So he starts thinking and thinking and thinking until till Kurama says, "Use your chakra around your body. Physically make it like it's your scythe." So he was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I should do that." So then Naruto says, "But I probably need some extra chakra." The Kiwi says, "I'll lend you own the ember of mine." So he uses the Kiwi's chakra and his own. It didn't take that much chakra as he thought. So basically, he makes like an armor of chakra around him, even a hood too. And he's just saying, and then the scythe comes out of the cloak, like the chakra that looks like a cloak. And then he just says, "So let's play now, Neji." And Neji just getting the stance, and he can't even see Naruto's chakra points no more. He's like, "What?" So he's just saying to himself, "What? I can't see them." Sakura is cheering on for Naruto, and is cheering harder than just cheering on Naruto in general. So then Naruto just was on the defensive the whole entire time. Now he's running. He's on the attack. He's just trying to slash at him, hit him. He's getting some cuts and just some little cuts on Neji. He's missing on purpose. He doesn't want to kill Neji. And Neji can see this. So he says, "Thank you, Naruto, for not trying to kill me with that weapon." He goes, "Of course. It's just pure chakra." He usually throws it away as it disappears. Besides, I'm gonna win this right now. As Naruto just gets a kunai, and he's doing somewhat the similar way, but he's just having his dark chakra cover around his whole entire body. And there's this ominous feeling in the air, and Ino's just it's just blushing because, like I said, she likes that. So he just runs over and just starts. And then, Neji does a trigram, does that spin rotation spear. Okay, but first though, let me explain why likes it, because one, it's Naruto, and one, he's getting serious. So that's why. Not for any other reason. Alright? Okay. So yeah, so the clash happens, but then Naruto brings out the Nine-Tails Fox's chakra with the red eyes, and Neji sees the red eyes and just sees Naruto just cutting right through, and he just... Then explosions. Explosion happen. They both get sent flying, but the only difference is Naruto lands on his feet. Neji doesn't. Neji can't even move right. Naruto just says, "How's that for destiny, Neji?" He goes, "How could I?" He goes, "Because I work harder than you. I train harder than everyone here. I'm always training every day of my life. Even walking is just a training exercise for me. I don't hold back. To people I think that need to know how strong I am. I only showed you a fraction of my power. But that's because I'm in the top A rank of the bingo book. So I didn't want to hurt you, even though you hurt Hinata. Just consider this a lesson. Destiny is what you make of it, not what you are born with. So, how about this? When I become Hokage, I'll change everything of the Hyuga clan and get rid of that curse mark on your head." And Neji's going, "How do you?" He goes, "I read up on it. See you around, Neji." So everyone starts cheering and clapping. They're all saying it was a good fight. But then Naruto turns back around to Neji, and everyone's thinking, what's gonna... And then Naruto just picks up Neji by the arm, puts it over his shoulder, and just starts walking toward Neji to the infirmary. And everyone's clapping even more, saying, "This is not the Nine Tails." To themselves. The people who hate Naruto, yeah, that's all gone. That's all gone by this moment, because they thought he was about to kill him. But no, he went back to help him up, to take him over to basically the infirmary, which he does. So yeah. Oh god, it's almost an hour. We cannot get to the Gaara versus Naruto fight. I am pissed. I'm mad. Okay, so we gotta get at least to where it's about to happen. Alright. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this was freaking part 4 of what if Naruto had the Grim Reaper's powers. My bad. Yeesh. At least I mentioned it now, when we're almost done. We're about to be done soon. But yeah, so when he takes him to the infirmary, Neji's uncle and Hinata and that other girl, Hinata's sister, come in right when Naruto's leaving. And I'm not gonna remember her father's name, so I'm gonna say the head of the Hyuga clan opens the door right when Naruto's just about to just start walking out. And then he sees Naruto, and then Naruto just looks at him like he doesn't even care what he looks at him for. But then he notices his eyes. They don't look like a hate. He doesn't like he hate him. He just says to Naruto, he bows his head and says, "Thank you, Naruto Uzumaki. Thank you." Naruto just looks at him and goes, "Yeah. Oh, by the way, are you a council member?" Naruto just asks him. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Sorry, everyone. I hadn't just ignore that. I had no lunch and I kind of fell asleep and I yeah, I had no lunch. Sorry." But anyways, he says, "Yes, I'm part of the council." He goes, "All right." But yes, but right before he leaves, the head of the Hyuga clan asks why. Says, "Just in case something happens. I just don't want to get run out of this village." And the head of the Hyuga clan does make a declarement to him, saying, "I would never let that happen." And Naruto is just shocked. He goes, "You may have been what I thought was wrong, and I am deeply, deeply sorry. I regret everything I have said to you about you in the past." Naruto grins and says, "Don't worry. I already knew for the longest time now." What shocked him, what shocked the head of the Hyuga clan, he goes meditation. That's how. Then he walks away. So he knows now. Naruto knew who he is, and he still has not tired trying to take revenge on the village. He says, "This boy is not the monster. He never was, and we done such a great wrong." And Naruto goes, "What do you?" And he goes, "He'll find out sooner or later. Not now. He must." So he walks over to Neji. He says, he says hello to him. He says hello, and then they start talking. That's it. So he gets back over to Ino. Ino hugs him and saying that was the greatest fight she's ever seen. So she's happy to see Naruto actually get serious and just having a good time. He does say he doesn't. Remember, he doesn't like killing, but not. Because she just said, "I know that. I'm talking about the fighting part. You like that because that means you can't get stronger in it." And he's saying, "Yeah," while blushing. So they're just kind of like holding hands and talking to each other and watching the fights. Then it's Sasuke. So, Sasuke and Gaara's fight. Everything happened the same. So, yeah. So, that happens the same way. The Shidori, Gaara bleeding, goes insane, then the village attacks. He gets attacked, and Genjutsu doesn't work on him, doesn't work on Sakura, it doesn't work on Ino. And, yeah. So, just want to let you know, next, it's gonna be the part where we're gonna have Naruto. Well, first of all, we're gonna have Sasuke and Sakura and Naruto go, and yeah. I'm sorry, I really want to get to it. That's why I kind of may have rushed a little bit, but I really do apologize. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh, I shouldn't really do. I should have made him trained by Jiraiya." I'm still gonna have him be trained by Jiraiya. It's just gonna be after the Chunin exams, after the whole entire Gar fight incident thing, and he becomes a little bit more OP, but he's gonna have a harder time controlling his chakra then, and it's gonna be like he has to work at it. So it means a lot more then. I thought it'd be a cool idea since he has the Grim powers and the Soul Fusion. It just came to me, and I wasn't gonna have him meet Jiraiya anyways. I was just gonna have him fight him at the level he was, but then I realized that how would that even work? So yeah, so that's the only way I could think of how I'm doing it right and this what if. So please understand that. If you can't, I do apologize. Alright. Hope you guys do enjoy your rest of your day or night, wherever you watch this, and bye. Oh, also like, comment, and subscribe if you want.